Well, Judd Herzer is the brand new mobility director at Michigan State University, and it's a pleasure to welcome him to MSU and to the program. Judd, welcome. Good to see you.
Thanks, Russ. I'm very excited to be here.
Before we talk about the cool future of mobility, especially at MSU, a little bit of your background. Why are you passionate about mobility and what attracted you to MSU at this time?
Yeah. So I come to MSU and the academic environment from a 13-year career in state government. In those 13 years, I developed specialities in public policy and state budget planning, government affairs, strategy management, and agency operations. I've worked in both chambers of the state legislature, in state departments, and as the infrastructure and technology advisor to the governor. Most recently, I served as the director of strategic policy for the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity. In that role, I helped establish two of Michigan's newest state offices, the Michigan High-Speed Internet Office and the Michigan Office of Future Mobility and Electrification. I helped develop Michigan's Future Mobility and Electrification Strategic Plan, managed the state's Future Mobility Office's policy portfolio, was responsible for interagency coordination of mobility efforts, led several signature initiatives. I had the opportunity to write the state's infrastructure plan for EV charging infrastructure, was an architect of the REV Midwest Alliance and the Lake Michigan EV Circuit Project. I launched new EV workforce development programs for the state of Michigan, initiated North America's first wireless charging roadway and the U.S.'s first connected and automated vehicle corridor. And all of it has always been super thrilling, super exciting for me. And so I'm happy to be bringing that experience and that type of work background to Michigan State University. I was born and raised here in Michigan. I'm a dog person. I enjoy visiting national parks. I have a bachelor's degree in economics and political science and a JD with a specialty in constitutional law and civil rights.
That's cool. So again, why MSU? Why now? What about the program attracted you to lead it?
I'm so thrilled to be stepping into the role as the university's new mobility director and leading MSU's mobility efforts. So the automotive industry represents 20% of Michigan's economy. It provides 1 out of every 5 jobs in our state, but the industry is evolving, and as the result of some highly disruptive technologies like autonomous vehicles and rapid connectivity, smart infrastructure, and electrification. It's predicted that by 2030, more than half of new vehicle sales will be electric vehicles, and that for the first time in our history, software, not hardware, is going to be the most valuable part of a new car. These new technologies will change not just the mobility industry, but our society as a whole. And that's why we see companies, the federal government, state governments, Michigan's in particular, really investing in the future of mobility, making it a strategic focus. And this is good news for us because whether you're an engineer in a lab or a tinkerer in your garage, building the next generation vehicle is part of a Michigander's DNA. And so MSU, being a major player at the heart of one of the most concentrated hubs of mobility R&D activity in the world, we stand to gain from the increased funding for research, testing, deployment, from the commercialization of new IP, and from the academic services that we can provide to our students and the advancements of that Spartan reputation, brand, our standing with local and global communities throughout our recognition of our work.
And Judd, before we go any further, let's define mobility. Like we said, it's sort of a word like sustainability. We all kind of know what it means, but when MSU talks about mobility, what do we mean?
Yeah, mean. You hit the nail on the head when you say, what does it mean rather than what it is. I think framing the question that way inherently makes the answer a little bit more subjective, but more tangible. So for some, the future of mobility is synonymous with the future of the automotive industry, like I already talked about, and the hundreds of thousands of jobs here in Michigan alone that families thrive on. To others, it's synonymous with greener transportation and decarbonizing the largest emitting sector in both our national and state economies in order to combat climate change. To others, it's improved accessibility, living with greater independence, improved safety on the transportation system. It can mean new entrepreneurial opportunities, emerging profit pools. It just kind of depends on who you are and what your perspective is, what the mobility world can mean. And I think thoughtfully encapsulating all those perspectives is important and should guide our work here at MSU, because all those different meanings are correct, and it means something different to MSU's partners in the private and public sectors.
So Judd would talk about sort of the evolving mission of MSU's Office of Mobility and your role. What will you be doing?
Yeah, so as mobility director, I'll be responsible for nearly every facet of MSU's mobility work. That includes growing our portfolio of funded research, growing awareness of MSU's mobility prowess, developing industry and governmental partnerships, ensuring MSU has an attractive and competitive work environment that will bring future mobility scientists and researchers here, and, of course, ensuring that the academic services that we are offering as a university align with the future needs of the private sector, and setting up our students for success through and after graduation. I think one of the biggest roles for me will be coordinating our mobility work across 6 different colleges, because, again, mobility is more than just the next vehicle that's coming out. It's really going to change our society holistically.
And what about MSU's particular research strengths in the mobility space? What are those?
Well, first and foremost, it's the people. MSU's mobility team is incredibly strong, from the university and college leadership through researchers and students on down. MSU Mobility is an incredibly strong team and committed to making it a cornerstone of the university. Second, I think it's our capacity and expertise across the spectrum of mobility subject matters. So, for instance, MSU researchers are working with the state and utilities to understand and design strategies for integrating electric vehicles into our energy and power systems. But we also have researchers who are developing the next generation autonomous vehicles for the U.S. Army, and that will help keep service members safer and operating theaters across the globe. We can do it all here at MSU because of that versatility. And I would say third, but certainly not last, is our gorgeous campus and the unique and independently managed infrastructure systems that we have here. So MSU is currently transforming its 5,200-acre campus into a live, connected mobility ecosystem of 8.1 square miles of contiguous urban, suburban, industrial, and rural areas where, given all of the traffic and mobility activity that's already happening on campus, plus our ability to generate sustainable power here on campus, and the fact that we have our own electrical grid, it makes MSU truly an ideal, one-of-a-kind location for researching, testing, and deploying in a real-world scenario mobility technologies, and the ability to do so in all 4 seasons.
Yeah, that is exciting. Well, Judd, what about some short and long-term goals as you start directing mobility at MSU?
Yeah, short-term and long-term goals. I asked this question when I was discussing the mobility director position with some of the leadership, and the actual answer that I was given was more and more. And I think it's actually a really perfect answer, because when I think about all of the questions that would maybe define a goal, like what goals does the university have for enhancing mobility research? And the answer was, we want to do more of it. What about students enrolling in mobility coursework? Yeah, we want to do more of that too. What about MSU incorporating mobility technologies into its own systems and operations? Yeah, we want to do more of that too. So short-term goal, we want to do more. And long-term goal after that, we want to do even more on top of that. More, and then some more after that.
What a great answer. What are some challenges and opportunities both for MSU and the mobility space moving forward? And just when you do look to that future, kind of what excites you?
Challenges and opportunities, I try to look at them both as one and the same. So maybe a singular answer to your question of what's our biggest challenge, what's our biggest opportunity, it's going to be pace. When I was a kid, the future of mobility seemed capped at 88 miles per hour. And while we're probably a long ways off from time-traveling DeLoreans, hoverboards and flying cars may be just right around the corner. So I've watched the pace at which industry consumes and commercializes innovation quick and faster over the years. I expect this trend will continue as the sector embraces more multimodal movement of people and goods, as we see increased demand for and investment in new subsectors like uncrewed aerial systems, electrified and autonomous maritime, sustainable micromobility, agricultural and off-road solutions. Vehicle developers and manufacturers, they've placed billion-dollar bets on electrification, and they are aggressively pursuing not just more production of it, but better batteries, better semiconductors, better vehicle power systems and software. And as firms shift their positions and to maintain their competitive edges in what is, I would say that the newest high-tech sector in the U.S. economy, they want to be able to attract the knowledge-based workers of tomorrow and perhaps rebrand their image as a metal-bending industry and as I mentioned before, the highest polluting sector of the national economy into a sector that's at the vanguard of climate solutions and electrification. We have to keep pace. We have to do more than keep pace. And I think by working harder, smarter, faster, we can actually set the pace. And by doing that, we will ensure that MSU not just adapts, but helps define through our research and through our real world testing what mobility is going to be. And with ingenuity and a desire to always be first, we'll ensure that the future of mobility is being invented right here at MSU. So Russ, let me point out how this benefits students. We here at MSU are participating in the state's efforts around the EV Scholars Program, and that's creating new opportunities for students to step into and learn more about mobility in the future of the transportation sector. And by growing our research portfolio, we'll generate new opportunities for students to step in and help build our research capacity and support the development of all these new technologies and the innovation that we're doing here.
Well, Judd, a lot of exciting stuff. So just summarize as you get started again what you'd like us to know about mobility at MSU.
What I would like you to know about mobility at MSU is that it happens here for a reason. MSU is a great place for new, innovative ideas and transformational research that is really going to define what the future of mobility is, not just for Michigan and our automotive industry, but for our society at large and for our global community.
Spartans will, Judd.
Spartans
Thanks
will.
for joining us. Again, welcome to the university.
Thanks, Russ.
That's Judd Herzer, the new mobility director at Michigan State University. Much more at mobility.msu.edu. And I'm Russ White. This is MSU